The new application is based on fresh facts. Through his affidavit, Mkhotsi told the Johannesburg Magistrate Court that his wife has now entered into a lease agreement directly with the property owner, giving him an address that can be independently verified. In court today, the state alleged that Mkhotsi had planned to escape custody while in court, but his plan was allegedly foiled. The defense, led by advocate Ntabiseng Muhumane, accused the state of introducing new allegations every time Mkhotsi applies for bail.
Your Worship, the court would note that every application that comes is met with new allegations.
And lastly, 3 men accused of involvement in the murder of boxer Zolani Tete have now joined the alleged mastermind in the dock. 22-year-old Uzozole Kokwana is alleged to be the central figure in the murder, accused of masterminding the fatal shooting of Tete in Mdantsane last Friday. Kokwana made his first court appearance yesterday. Today, he was joined in the Mdantsane Magistrate Court by alleged hitman Sipesihle Kholisa and Athandwa Gangala, as well as alleged middleman Sinebongo Qase. Eastern Cape NPA spokesperson Luxolo Tyali.
While the mastermind and the middlemen are still applying for bail, which will be vehemently opposed by the NPA, their bail application will proceed on the 1st of September.
A partly cloudy Wednesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Temperatures will drop to overnight lows of between 4 and 9 degrees and peak at highs of between 26 and 27 degrees. Noluthando Ngeno, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Comfort ends where Marawa Sports Worldwide begin.
I wrote Safa a letter where I said they should return my money.
My lord,
No, you're out of order and you must behave yourself.
What has happened, my man? There's a pair of sneakers you want and your budget is tight. Forget the budget. Look after your emotions. Go buy that pair of shoes. It gives you positive energy because the world is up against you.
Champions, we need to talk.
Nobody could catch him.
First and foremost, he reminded us that he's human.
Our nation is in shock.
We remember Zolani Tete.
No, Zolani Tete was more than a boxer, 2-weight world champion, 11-second KO record, and he put South African boxing on the map. And to die like that at that age, just as his suspension ended, and he wanted, a comeback. It's heartbreaking. South Africa must do better to protect our heroes.
Eastern Cape Premier will fail us to this Zolani Tete funeral because he well deserved a state funeral. But Ngogi mentioning he is not the first person to be a champion. Because in a negative attitude towards a funeral, because Zolani Tete, they are not going to award him a state funeral instead of giving him the state funeral. Please, Eastern Cape, do not fail Zolani Tete.
Please share some of the details of what you're saying. If he is saying that today in 2026, then that person has no respect for us. He's got no respect for boxing. He's got no respect for sport. A 2-time world champion in 2 different weight divisions. And if what you're saying is exactly what is being said by the leadership of the Eastern Cape, then they have absolutely no respect for us. Colin Nathan joins me, boxing manager and trainer.
I had a picture of Zolani on my phone and I needed to store and free up some storage. And I deleted the picture because I thought to myself a few days ago, I think it was last week, that Colin, don't stress, you'll see Zolani again. You can take another picture. And life is short. And I wish I had never deleted that picture because you never know what tomorrow brings. And tomorrow's not bringing us Zolani on this earth, which is shattering. This is a very hard one to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow, and I'm really not swallowing it well.
An incredible talent. Our thoughts are with his family during this profound and indescribable loss from your MSW family.
Yeah, Marawa Sports Worldwide. It is the Tuesday edition of the show, 21st of August, 2026. And guess what, guys? Your all-time favorite is back. But before I break that news, let me tell you that Marawa Sports Worldwide is proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go! The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
Siyatumuza nje manje. Yazi msakaza ngibonga.
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
MSW. Why? It's multicast, Baba.
You know the story. When excuses run out.
Such behavior can only be rooted out by VAR, Rob.
The truth clocks in.
It's tough. It's tough.
#MSW. Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Commonwealth Junior Featherweight Champion Uzolani Tete. Let me remind you what you said before the fight, and you told the media that, and I quote, "I am going to win the fight. It's up to Jason whether he is going to quit or last the full 12 rounds. But either way, I'm going to win the fight." End quote. You didn't leave him with much option there, did you?
Tete's a good finisher.
I was fighting in his background. You know, we are both from the same promoter, so anything could have happened. So I had to make sure that the level is showing up, and I had to take the win.
You're going to wake up one day and you're going to become a UK citizen. The way they love you so much now in the UK.
The love that I get in the UK is amazing. I always feel at home whenever I get there.
Marawa Sports Worldwide. Monday to Friday weekdays. Dividing public opinion.
Are they empowering?
And setting the rugby agenda.
Do not forget where your history South Africa is. The enemy's desire is to try and erase it.
Welcome. You're with the Room Dividers.
Oh, finally, man. Finally, the Room Dividers on Marawa Sports Worldwide in partnership with F&B, proud sponsors of the Springboks. Help changes everything. Oh, man, excitement buzzing around here at Primedia. That's simply because F&B are in the building. And F&B are here to make sure that the Room Dividers are back on your radio, back on your YouTube channel, back wherever you're listening across the country, the continent, or the world. My goodness, what a good time to have it back on radio because, hey, it is rugby season. A lot of you would have gone to Ellis Park, and I would love nothing more than to hear of your experience watching the Springboks play the All Blacks. Much awaited competition that was. Man, it was fireworks. And if you're going to be heading down to Cape Town, please share those experiences as well. Because I know the Cape Town crowd are very different. They give a different energy and a very positive energy. So things could turn around pretty much down in Cape Town. But like I said, the brand new season of the Room Dividers in partnership with F&B, proud sponsors of the Springboks, is back on #MSW. And every Tuesday, I can simply tell you from 6 on 947 Vuma FM and Rise FM, you can catch match analysis, the injury updates, bold predictions that these gentlemen usually bring. Manana, as well as Mike Greenaway. He's here early today, but I'll tell you all about him when I get to him. But also the biggest rugby stories. There's so much more we can chat about. And to find out more about F&B's partnership as well as the sponsorship of the Springboks, let's chat to former rugby player himself, the current F&B events experience lead, Unkosana Macheshana. Unkosana, good to see you, man. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Robert, and good evening to your listeners.
Are you excited about the Room Dividers being back on radio?
I am very excited about the Room Dividers being back on radio. I've been a proud listener of the Room Dividers for many years, when back in the day, the late, great Kawunda Ntunja was part of the Dividers. So it's lovely to be here again and the Room Dividers resurrected.
Sure. Yeah, we can never ever forget our friend. Hey, we can never ever. Lawrence Ibaka as well, who's still pretty much around and contributing to rugby so much. What was it then when you were listening to the Room Dividers as just a pure listener and a lover of rugby, and yourself, like I said, being a former rugby player yourself, what was it that resonated that said, you know what, every Tuesday I must make plans to tune in?
Robert, it was a fresh, raw, and honest perspective that the guys gave, from Lawrence to Utando to Kawunda. So it was actually really refreshing to get those takes, because I think sometimes as a fan, when you get a lot of the sense and stuff, it does actually become a bit frustrating, because you almost feel like saying, guys, tell me what you really think and not what you're supposed to say. And I think what you guys did really well with the Room Dividers is that, as the name suggests, it really did divide the room in opinions. and they were really strong personalities with the guys themselves. So that's what I really enjoyed about the Room Dividers.
Because also, you talk about the honesty, and sometimes we're not also honest with ourselves. And you can imagine back then it was big fights with some of the big guns and even with ministers that came in. But it was a common objective to say, guys, let's have a collective understanding of who and what this rugby game is all about. So if we had to talk about issues of transformation, we did then, and we handled them, and they handled it pretty well. But right now, it's a new dawn. FNB is a principal sponsor of the Springboks and SA Rugby in general. And looking at what we've seen, with the Boks, I look at it from a junior Boks perspective, Springbok women, also tournaments like Classic, Clashes, not forgetting Varsity Cup, which has lived long and hard and is still continuing to rise. What sort of reinforces FNB's decision to put its name on the front of that jersey?
Well, as you've mentioned all those things, we look at it, and as you say, as a brand, our promise is that we are here to help. Yeah. We are invested in our clients, we are invested in our communities, we are invested in our country, and we know how important rugby is to our nation. We are a rugby mad nation, and so getting behind the Springbok brand was something that came naturally to us, but also understanding that it does need help to actually continue to grow it, provide access to a lot more people around the country, and importantly, provide opportunities and platforms for young boys and girls in the country. And what better way to partner with SARU in continuing that particular vision, over and above, as you'd mentioned, what we have done over the years with FNB Classic Clashes, which was a schoolboy rugby-focused program, and then the FNB Varsity Cup and Shield, which is now tertiary bridging into professional rugby. So that's what is really important to us.
It also doesn't... it's not a bad thing we're in between. I would say, Nkosana, they are world champions that emerge, whether at the senior national team or junior Springbok level. They deliver. And when you come back with that classic of being a world champion, indispensable, nobody can touch you, it really augurs well to say that, the vision within FNB was well thought out, because right at the end, you produced those world champions.
No, definitely. It was well thought out. And as you say, winning does help immensely. So long may it continue across the board. As you say, we are the world champions with the men's team. We are the world champions with the sevens team. We are the world champions with the baby Boks. And the women's team has come on leaps and bounds in the top 10 now and continuing to grow. And really, that's what we want to see, right? How do we continue to grow the game? How do we continue to grow participation? And we'll do our bit in the sponsorship to enable our partner in SARU to invest in the game itself and grow it at that particular level.
Let's talk about that, the bigger vision around the sponsorship by FNB to the Springboks. So when you talk about it, and what makes SA Rugby, such an important property for FNB generally?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we spoke about the part about help, but really we look at it as, again, on nation building. In terms of how we invested in the nation. But other than that, I think what it does do for us is it allows us to demonstrate our sponsorship platform of grassroots to greatness. So yes, you look at the opposite end of the continuum where Osea and Peter Steph du Toit are on the greatness side of things. But we know that it doesn't just mushroom to that, right, Rob? There's a lot of work that goes on to actually get those particular Springboks to that level. And that's a grassroots and important piece. So then in that partnership with SARU, where we involved from the first touch of the ball all the way to the world champions, it allows us to demonstrate what we mean about grassroots to greatness. Because now all of a sudden, we're involved in the youth programs of SARU. They really strong programs there. If you look at the SARU under 13 Youth Week, under 16 Youth Weeks, and under 18 Youth Weeks, it's really stepping stones for a lot of players going into the national system. So that particular partnership really reinforces that for us. But also, what we're really passionate about when you talk about nation building is what the partnership with SARU has done for us in terms of, again, putting our money out where our mouth is in growing the women's game. Because all of a sudden now, with the investment we've made in SARU and a part of that being the women's team, we are able to actually grow that particular ecosystem, give more opportunity to young girls to become Springboks. There are plenty more Babalwa Lachas out there, and we'll do our bit to actually getting them through the system from grassroots all the way to greatness.
Well, greatness indeed, because as you mentioned, Peter Steph du Toit, in the back of my mind, I'm saying, we were celebrating last week a 100 test cap. to Damien Dialendi. This coming Saturday, it's Peter Steph du Toit who comes in as the 11th human being who's played for the Springboks to don that hat and say 100 test caps and obviously, hopefully, growing even further. So when that grassroots to greatness takes in full effect, that kid would be looking at a Peter Steph du Toit and saying, one day, just one day, that will be me. Where's a walkout ahead of everybody else? There's all sorts of fireworks. There's a celebration around me as an individual within a team sport. That for you must be something that you probably dream about and say, guys, listen, that kid started off with our project, our program from down there.
100%. And again, it's nice to put those proof points to it because, as you say, this week it's Peter Steph du Toit is going into his 100th test cap. Last week it was Damien Dialende. But looking at that, Damien Dialende comes from some of the platforms we had before the Saru partnership. He played in FNB Classic Clashes. He played in FNB Varsity Cup. And he's gone on into the Springboks and now to 100 test cap Springbok. Peter Steph du Toit himself has played also the Varsity Cup, and now he's also going into that particular horizon. So again, for us, it's just a proof point in saying, how can we, along the journey, enable and support and give you that leg up to continue in your journey to greatness. We definitely don't take the ownership and say we made this Peter Steph du Toit or Damien Dialendes, but what we say is that we enabled the pathway to be easier for those particular people to actually get that access and those opportunities.
I mean, what a moment. Rugby's greatest rivalry. We are one match down, Kosana. And we saw last week there was a high expectation. The entire Ellis Park Stadium was ablazoned with the green and gold. Very, very exciting to see. But for you, when you see how the players take it, how the world actually takes it, because it's a global audience that is watching this, and now that we are one match down, what are your expectations, obviously, as a brand and as a rugby lover, as we now head off to Cape Town?
Well, I mean, I couldn't put it better than the New Zealand assistant coach. I'm forgetting his name now, but he says he knows that he's just poked the bear. So the bear that is Rassie Erasmus and Siya Kolisi will hopefully get up this weekend. I have no doubt that will happen and really give us as South Africans what we want to see. But also just reinforce to the world again that we are the world champions and we didn't get to this position by default. We've earned it. So yeah, we're going to give the guys a go this particular weekend and really level the series again. And then from there kind of accelerate on and win this thing. Because I think to every South African, not winning this thing will almost be a underperformance somewhat to the expectations we have of the Springboks.
And that's not it, because you talked about poking the bear. The bear was successfully poked because guess what? And we'll discuss this with the guys when they come in later on, is the squad announcement by Rassie on a Monday morning. To almost say, guys, listen, there it is. That's the squad that we're putting out. We're dropping who we're dropping. We're putting on the bench who we're putting on the bench. And, we're undecided about one key position, but we'll decide on it, closer to the time. So for me, that's already saying Rassie is on a mission for revenge. It can only be good here for rugby, surely.
Definitely is good for rugby. And it's great for, I think, even the public, because I'm sure now the excitement for this weekend is bigger than it was last week, and will continue. I mean, as South Africans to rally behind the team. I mean, we were annoyed, but we obviously still love our team as fans always do, and we'll really get behind this weekend. And we're looking forward to a splendid afternoon in Cape Town, but also around the world from where you're going to be watching, be it your TV sets, the tavern, the bar, the friend's place. We're all going to be donning our green and gold and cheering our boys on.
All right, you got to leave a historic mark here, Nkosana, because I have to ask you who's going to win and by how much. Give me that rugby knowledge and enthusiasm that I know you have deep down inside.
Cool. So looking at the squad we've taken again, I think what we've done now is almost gone back to basics. As you said, we announced the team on Monday, get it out the way. We showing you how we're going to play. Whether you can stop it, that's your own problem. We've brought back Andre Pollard in terms of, I think, bringing back that calm and I suppose that general aspect to the midfield. Siya Kolisi is back in the mix. I think that's fresh off the press that he is fit to play. So we get that leadership, call it that quiet energy again that comes through from the leadership experience he has, but also just the finesse he has now in terms of how he manages referees, but can also calm his group. And then we've brought Thomas du Toit back in on the tight head side. I think we gave up our ascendancy in the second half by a bomb squad not doing what it needs to do, and Thomas du Toit on the tight head prop will give us again, hopefully, that go forward we need. So considering all those variables, and then you add in the third other element that it's expected to be wet day in Cape Town. So a tight game which suits us more than them. So with all those variables considered and the bear that's been poked, I'm saying the Boks to win and to win by 9.
The Boks to win by 9. Okay, we'll remember that. We'll record that at 21 minutes after 6. Nkosana has declared what the score is going to be. And by virtue, again, would have broken that with the guys about Sia. There's a historical number that comes with it. I'll just squeeze it in before we take a break. Is that in terms of combined test caps, him being included now takes the combined test caps to 1,012 combined of those 15 men, which is the most in Bok history. So that we have to look at and definitely applaud because, wow, what an experience bunch of players. And like you rightfully said, with the Pollards of this world, with Peter Steph du Toit, with, Damien Dialendi, everybody else that has reached that mark. Oxen Chair reaches his 50th cap and so much more. So we'll get to that and a whole lot more. I think you've laid the foundation, sir. Thank you so much. And once again, as I say, courtesy of FNB, the Room Dividers are back on the radio and people are gathered around their radio sets and they are ready to send us a WhatsApp voice note. So be part of the journey, guys. Nkosana Majeshan, who's FNB Events Experience Lead, joining us right here on hashtag MSW. We've laid out, I don't know if the guys have got drumsticks and all sorts of things. Manana loves to eat. Has got an appetite from here to Kingdom Come. But Nkosana, thank you very much indeed. And once again, so proud to be in partnership with yourselves.
Cool. Thank you, Robert, and thank you to your listeners. Go Bokke.
Yeah, go Bokke to win by 9. Do you agree?
Hashtag MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. Hashtag MSW.
You know a story like hers, a young hustler with a big dream. Will she get the money to build her salon empire? You don't have to wait months to find out. Deal or No Deal South Africa is where lives can change fast. R1 or R250,000, everything could change. Find out now. So don't miss Deal or No Deal every weekday at 7:30 p.m. on SABC2.
Lotto Stars, licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18s. National Responsible Gambling Program. 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Hey guys, it's Kirsty. Let's talk. Nothing lifts my mood like a fresh face beat. That's why I'm excited to get my beauty edit from Dis-Chem. With my Better Rewards card, I'm ready to stock up on Deborah and Palladio color cosmetics and score gorgeous freebies while I'm at it. Think flirty gloss, bold lashes, and all the glam essentials from brands like Revlon, Maybelline, and more. Now that's my beauty edit. Until 13 September, only at Dis-Chem.
As a mom, you're the moment maker. With Lancewood by your side, of course. The everyday breakfast toast spreader. The snack-packed lunchbox maker. The don't forget this for later packer. The one more hug before you leave, and sister. And when everything quietens down, a moment for yourself taker. With creamy, indulgent spoonfuls of Lancewood double cream yogurt. Obviously. Lancewood. Quality time.
Get the hottest 100 deals this week at Food Lovers Market. Buy 3 125-gram blueberry punnets and 3 250-gram strawberry punnets for 100 Rand. Bulk Camillehout Boerewors for only 100 Rand per kilo. And 8 400-gram cans of Rhodes baked beans in tomato sauce for just 100 Rand. Valid until Sunday, 30 August, only at Food Lovers Market. It's in the experience.
Success used to be about impressing everyone else. Today, it's about making smarter decisions. Choosing more value, more technology, more comfort, without paying more than you need to. That's why more South Africans are discovering Bike. The Bike X55 Plus from just 4,299 per month, and the all-new Bike B30 from 5,899 per month. Explore the range and book your test drive at bike.co.za. T's and C's apply. Bike. Drive your ambition.
Just handle exit. Do you have a sore throat? Anzalex C Oral Rinse and Spray provides targeted relief from 1 minute that lasts up to 4 hours. It reduces pain and inflammation while numbing the affected areas. It also kills viruses and bacteria that cause sore throats to help prevent serious throat infections. Andalex, South Africa's #1 choice for sore mouth and throats. For more information, speak to your healthcare professional.
Just Andalex it.
Andalex, a proud sponsor of The Masked Singer Season 3.
Our nation is in shock.
We remember Zolani Tete. We remember the little boy from Mtanzania. We remember the world champion. We remember the knockout artist.
Oh, that's the reason why. Goodness me, first punch of the fight, and it's all over. He's knocked him unconscious.
We have the spokesperson for the Eastern Cape SAPS, Brigadier Nobuntu Kantana, who is on the line. Brigadier, thank you so much for your time. Good evening and welcome to the show. Are you able to share with us the accuracy and the accurate nature of where we are right now? We tend not to always believe what is out there on social media.
Where we are currently at the moment is that we have 4 people that are in custody.
Kind of investigation has dug deeper in getting these 3 or 4 already under the police watch?
We usually follow up on intelligence information that we receive as well. So we would follow up on all the tip-offs.
What's the motive?
The motive at the moment I cannot divulge because this is an ongoing case that is in court. But all that I can say is that as SAPS, we are aware of the motive behind this case.
And the passenger, I know you referred to her earlier on as being injured.
Her condition is critical but stable, and she is still in hospital at the moment.
#MSW. #MSW.
To be honest with you, we had a little bit of a different team in mind. You know, we hoped we could win the first test match, and we wanted to try some. We hoped Kane would be fit. Would have loved to play Cheslin again. He has only played 80 minutes for us prior to this because he's come from a taxing. He's a small guy that plays really physical for his size, and we wanted him really fresh. And then unfortunately, him and Grant got injured. So there's a couple of changes that we wouldn't have made, and others that we wanted to make, but because of our injury situation and because of us not getting momentum, winning momentum, it's tough to make more changes. I mean, there's 6 changes already. I would say 3 is injury forced.
3 that are injury forced, the words there of Rassie Erasmus. We'll chat further about that. We'll hear your comments as well if you've been out there following the selection that was made and announced yesterday of the test squad to take on the All Blacks down in Cape Town. Well, rugby season is here, and if you're a fan of the fast and fierce Sevens action, FNB is giving you a chance as well to get even closer to that action. You and 3 guests could be jetting off to the HSBC SVNS series in Cape Town with what? VIP hospitality, flights, accommodation, and exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the Blitzbourg camp. Just open an FNB Global Business account for your chance to win. So FNB, help changes everything. So FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider, NCR RCP 20. That's it. T's and C's apply. There you have it, guys. What a chance. My goodness. VIP experience. I've got a VIP guest here in the studio.
Dividing public opinion.
Are they empowering?
And setting the rugby agenda.
Do not forget where your history South Africa is. The enemy's desire is to try and erase it.
Welcome. You're with the Room Dividers.
Oh, man, everybody getting so excited when they hear that. And Mike Greenaway is elsewhere. We'll link up with him shortly. But I can tell you, though, that the waiters over the Room Dividers are back. And for the first edition of the 2026 season, we are not easing our way into the room. We actually kicking the door wide open. The Springboks have been beaten at Ellis Park. Yeah, that's the reality. The All Blacks have struck first in rugby's greatest rivalry. And suddenly, there are questions everywhere. Now, did the Boks get their tactics wrong? That's what some people are saying. Did they fail to adapt when the box kick game wasn't working? And in fact, did they leave, the backs to the sidelines for too long? And because for large parts of that opening test, South Africa won the collisions. They dominated territory. And at times they looked frightening at the scrum. And yet they walked away with absolutely nothing. And while South Africa were doing the hard work, the All Blacks were doing something brutally simple. They were executing. So that's why tonight we ask the uncomfortable questions, and to help us dissect it all, a former SA under-23. He's a Springbok flank, a man who knows exactly what it means, though, to wear the green and gold. Mr. Thando Manana, good to have you back. So welcome to the show.
Must I say good afternoon or good evening? I haven't sat here for a while.
I know. You're in the dark, though. So once it's dark, we just say evening.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa, and to your listeners. Beautiful listeners, I must add.
Yeah. They've been missing you, though, on the radio, eh?
Missing me?
They've been missing you and the Room Dividers.
Yeah, I've been missing them as well. So let's see how it goes.
What were they saying to you? I don't know if you went to Ellis Park or not. I didn't
ask
I
was there.
Describe it, though. What was it like?
Rob, first and foremost, that's an iconic stadium.
Yes.
First and foremost. I think just leave 1995. I think 1995 just proves exactly, what transpired on the day and what happened. I think thereafter, it became a fortress. But I have to say, over the last couple of years, you sort of think twice using the word fortress. If you think back to the Australian game, we left with the tails between our legs, and Saturday was even worse. I tell you why it was worse. It's worse to a mere fact that we looked for excuses. We looked at blaming the ref, Carly, and he had made critical and great decisions, as a man in the middle. And it's never easy to ref that first test, Obviously, it's going to be AR1 in Cape Town, so he's going to be sort of more relaxed, but he started the job very well. I think from a South African point of view, this is a team that I was looking forward to see demolish the All Blacks, because I think the All Blacks had come to South Africa with a lot of question marks, especially with the new coach, Dave Rennie, taking over from Scott. And then you look at how the All Blacks have sort of done well since. I mean, they didn't start well against the Stormers, but then against the Sharks and against the Bulls, they started to come into their own. So I was always going to get worried because they're gaining momentum. And for us, that was the first game we had played in 33 days, Rob. That was for me a concern, is that we've played we're playing our first test match after 33 days. 2 is that the planning. What was the planning all about? Because I would have released, if I was in Rassi's shoes, I would release some of the fringe players to go back and play for their franchises. You need game time. It's quite evident. You need game time. You don't play, Rob, you lose touch. What happened to Sacha? Sacha came back. We forced him to go to Argentina. He was awful. We forced him again to start against the first test. All of a sudden, we're looking to point fingers at Sacha, coming back from injury. Now, this is a player that set South African rugby, ablaze.
No, of course he did. Yeah. Sensation, basically.
100%. Yeah. So now we're blaming the 24-year-old to say, listen, we blame you. You can't blame Sacha. Everything for me was completely just gone astray on the day. You know where it happened? It happened because we became complacent. We wanted to scrum the S out of the All Blacks, out of the field. Didn't happen because they always find a way, Rob. The All Blacks, what they were good at before is they would always find a way to score just before halftime. And in that game, in that first half, they went really never in the first half, but they scored 2 tries, 2-1. And they went halftime 13-12. Just shows you the class of the team, the never give up attitude they have. And also, I think they got a good coaching staff in Dave Rennie and the rest, Tana Umagas, and everyone that they've brought and assembled in the team.
Sure. What a breakdown. I want to bring in a man who is an independent media rugby writer, author of a book, Fireside, a Springbok. That's on Springbok history. Mike Greenaway, good evening and welcome.
Hey guys, so good to be back. So good to be talking Springbok rugby, even if it's coming off a loss. Yeah, I was at Ellis Park as well, and there were so many predictions made about this game. One prediction that no one could have possibly made was that with 7 minutes to go, thousands of people would be streaming out of Ellis Park. And when the All Blacks got that last penalty to put them so far ahead that the Boks had no chance, 7 minutes to go, thousands of fans streaming out of Ellis Park. Wow, that was sad. That was disappointing. And yeah, it just got me thinking, hey guys, this whole Ellis Park thing, all week everyone was talking about how the All Blacks were going to get intimidated by the Ellis Park factor. They had former players talking to the current team about how they can expect their bus to get pelted with fruit and obscene signs made to them as they were disembarking, etc., etc. But here's the thing. Since the professional era, since the Springboks and All Blacks came out of, or the Springboks came out of isolation, the All Blacks have won more games at Ellis Park than they've lost. They actually like playing there. And the Boks don't have the fantastic record there that people think they do. I mean, their last game there, they lost to Australia. It's a fast pitch. It's a place where attacking teams really do well. And the Boks don't have the record there that people think they have.
Yeah, I mean, so many factors as well. I mean, you've just broken down what went wrong at Ellis Park, and it was Manana saying that don't blame one person. There was also that boring box kicking that wasn't working. There was an isolation of a Grant Williams. Maybe Manana come in here, because when something becomes one-dimensional within a game of rugby, for the experience at Wiley All Blacks, it becomes easy to say to a Grant Williams, yeah, okay, we see you. We're going to target you. We're going to make life difficult for you. Yeah. Did they do that successfully, and why didn't we change then the tactics?
Rob, before I sort of start with Grant, I think the All Blacks even planned our tight five. You know, the way they played, our locks were nowhere. They were non-existent. Ruan Nortje, Eben Etzebeth, they were nowhere. But when it came to scrum time, we had the front rower doing their job. Primary job was to scrum. And credit must go to Vilcolo, credit must go to a Malcolm Marx, credit must go as well to an Oxenchair who was playing, who's playing his 50th this coming week. So for me, I'm saying, Rob, you go then to Grant Williams. He's not a tactical scrum half. Jaden Hendrikse would have fitted that type of a game plan, because it's a different scrum half. Even when they play together at the Sharks, they don't play a similar type of a game. So you've got now a Grant Williams who gets a charge down from Holland. Now, everyone is saying Holland is offside. He's not offside. It's the manner that he's taken now too long to get the ball out of the ruck and wants to do the box kick, and he's caught, and all of a sudden the All Blacks, everything just changes. He makes that mistake. Secondly, Rob, there was an opportunity, we had where we could have shifted him into wing, but we didn't do that. Instead, we bring in a Andre Esterhuizen, right? Yes, he scored a try. But after that, he went to oblivion state. We didn't see him in the game. He had to be replaced. And then we brought in a Kobus Reinach. So for me, at that stage, critical stage, in the 10th minute, you bring in a Kobus Reinach, right, at scrum half. You then take Grant Williams to wing, because he can play in that position. Do you understand what I'm saying, Rob? But now we force the young man to play a game that he's not accustomed to. His game is to probe and look for gaps, first channel, or whenever there's an opportunity. He does that
brilliantly as well.
It's his type of game. That's why he's the quickest scrum half that you'll get. On the other hand, you've got a very great scrum half, Roygard, from New Zealand. Brilliant scrum half who knows the art of slowing the ball, making it quick, because they played those games within that 80 minutes. But the Grant Williams can't, Rob.
So maybe a question, Mike, that I'll pose to you before we hit a break is how much then did the Springboks miss a Siya Kolisi?
No, so much. And just before we came on air, I'm not sure if you guys have reported it already, but Siya is playing. He's passed his fitness test. And wow, so important that he's back, because he would have, in the heat of that battle at Ellis Park, understood that they needed to change the way they were playing. They were playing this kind of strategy where they were trying to strangle the All Blacks, trying to not let them have any kind of creativity in their backs, which is obviously their strength. But what the Springboks needed to do was to play the way that they played when the previous time they played the All Blacks. They won 43-10 in Wellington in New Zealand. They scored 6 tries to 1 by using their backs. Obviously we've got the forwards that can create that front foot ball. And we did the same thing at Ellis Park, where our forwards did their job. I mean, they were absolutely magnificent. I mean, it was scrum penalty after scrum penalty after scrum penalty, but the backs were never used. I mean, Cheslin Colby in Wellington in the previous game scored 2 tries, and he just danced all over the opposition. The backs scored 5 of the 6 tries. The wings at Ellis Park barely touched the ball. Siya Kolisi would have seen on the battlefield how the battle was going, and it wasn't working with the strangulation game. And he would said, come on, guys, let's do some more attacking with the back. So fantastic to see the captain back.
Was he really injured on Saturday or ahead of Saturday's game, Mr. Manana?
No, I think Rob, it came to... I think the coach, I think the coach felt Paul de Villiers, could be good enough on the day. He's young, 4th test, but I think they wanted to give Siya an extra sort of couple of days to recover. It's complacency I spoke about. I think, if Ox didn't play, I'm not sure, which loose head would have done what he's done. It's just unfortunate he played 45 minutes. So I'm of the view Siya's leadership is of the highest caliber. He's shown it. He's played over 100 test matches. And people are saying we missed Siya. But it's only the coach that did not have the backbone to give him, whether it's 30, to see how it goes with post that hamstring twinge that he had in Argentina. So now we bring him in. And remember, now there's going to be more pressure. We're 1 down. He comes in.
He feels the heat.
So he's now...
as early as Cape Town.
100%. Yeah. So let's say, for argument's sake, we lose. It's 2 down. And then the steep gets higher. We draw. Everything sort of says, FNB, we're coming to see that. But for me, it's going to need him within the week. I mean, they only arrive tomorrow in Cape Town. So I think Siya will be able to do the job. I think he shouldn't put himself under pressure. He should just be, the same Siya that we know of. He's watched the game. He was there. He watched the game. I think everyone is sort of anticipating, his duel with the Addis Avia, on the opposite side, because both of them are good captains for their teams. So it's going to be really a dogfight, but also a tactical fight from the captains.
All right, let's hear from you. 011-888-947. Give us a call if you want to contribute. It's our very first edition of The Room Dividers, probably brought to you by FNB.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW.
A bigger and better national lottery is here. Play Powerball, Lotto, Daily Lotto, Match Play, and Instant Games. It's your chance to win big. Available at participating retailers, online, and on your banking app. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sisakai.
Between school runs, meetings, and errands, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Allergies? Not today. Texa Allergy helps you stay alert and clear-headed. No drowsiness, just pure relief. Be your best with Texa Allergy, the #1 non-drowsy antihistamine in South Africa. Whether you're a mom or a busy professional, Texa keeps you on your game all day long. Don't wait. Head to your nearest pharmacy today. Pharmadynamics. Effective, affordable healthcare.
With Mr. D, shopping for all your fresh ingredients and groceries from Pick n Pay is... So, feeding a growing teenager means, even at in-store prices, your grocery shopping is never. The little Bokker eats like a champion, so the eggs are all feeding an appetite that has no final whistle. Done. Mr. D. D is for
Here's something more South Africans should know about. Some of the biggest advances in health are happening right here at home. Like local researchers helping develop a new TB vaccine called M72 that could stop the disease before people become seriously ill. And programs like Coach Impilo are helping men living with HIV overcome stigma and stay on treatment through peer support and private chat guidance. It's South Africans making a difference. Supported by the Gates Foundation for 25 years. Partners of Human Potential.
At Checkers, every day gets better and better. Get better freshness, better choices, and better value for money. With deals like Be Well Extra Virgin Olive Oil, 1 litre for $169.99. Lind Selected Chocolate Products, buy any 2 and save 25%. And Colgate Pro Total or Max Toothpaste, 75 or 100 mils, any 2 for 79 Rand. Valid until 6 September, only at Checkers.
If I had to ask you if you've saved up enough for your retirement, does that make your heart rate go up? Or what if I had to ask you if your family will be looked after when you're gone? How's your heart rate doing now? Perhaps it's time to bring that heart rate down. Switch your investments and insurance to FNB and take full control of all your money matters 24/7. Help changes everything. TCs and earn rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited. First Rand Life Assurance Limited, a licensed life insurer. FNB Investor Services Pty Limited, an authorized financial services provider.
Our nation is in shock.
We remember Zolani Tete.
Oh, that's the reason why. Goodness me.
Taking Van as Zolani Tete's promoter and manager. Bramla, tell me what's happening within the family circle right now as they mourn their son.
As they mourn their last born, their provider. Zolani has built a home, a house for his parents. At the back of their house, they are flats for their sisters and grandchildren. After he finished that, he built his own house where he was shot and killed. His father said about him on Saturday in Isikhosa, he said, Uzolani zange wambona umlungu. Say Uzolani has never been employed formally. He did everything with his fist.
An incredible talent. Our thoughts are with his family during this profound and indescribable loss from your MSW family. Dividing public opinion.
Are they empowering?
And setting the rugby agenda.
Do not forget where your history South Africa is. The enemy's desire is to try and erase it.
Welcome. You're with the Room Dividers.
Yeah, the Room Dividers are here. Hashtag MSW on a Tuesday. Your reactions?
Evening, Darab. Luandile Makibo Tetayo from Kyalami. The weekend's game was a bit disappointing in terms of the box. Though we did a lot of things right. Our contestable kicks were good. Our set pieces were also good in the first half. And we managed to get into the 22. However, the major factor that made us lose was our 22 conversion rate. So, for example, we made 11 entries in the 22 and only managed 0.9 points per entry, whereas New Zealand made 9 entries in our 22 and had 3.6 points. So our conversion rate of getting into the 22 and converting that pressure into points was the major difference. This weekend, and the other issue is that we need to also fix our breakdown on attack, because what's happening is that our breakdown tends to be a bit too static. So we need to make it more dynamic by being agile before contact, and also we need to tackle the tackler when we enter the breakdown as well. But I do foresee us winning this weekend. All the best to the Boks. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much indeed. Looking forward to more of your WhatsApp voice notes. Otherwise, as I said, give us a call directly in studio, 011-883-8947. Maybe let me throw that to Mike Greenaway as he listened to that voice note, talking about the disappointment there, Mike, of the conversion rate from a South African perspective in comparing the percentage entries into, let's say the final third of each other's halves. Yeah, go ahead.
And that observation from the listener was really good. What we need to do, guys, is we've been analysing what the Springboks did wrong, where they were misfiring, and what that listener actually said basically was that the All Blacks defence in their 22 was magnificent. So they did all their homework. Tano Umanga is the defence coach, obviously a much decorated former All Black himself. But Dave Rennie, the way that he orchestrated that whole All Black performance, particularly with the defence, how they hung in there. Here's a statistic that I don't think I've seen anywhere else. So we'll break it on room dividers. Dave Rennie versus Rassie Erasmus. He was coach of Australia, we will remember, just a few years ago. Under Dave Rennie, the Wallabies played the Springboks 4 times. They won 3. They lost just 1. So, and now with this current win, it's Dave Rennie 5, Rassie Erasmus 1.
Sure.
So we've got to actually give credit where it's due. The All Blacks were brilliantly prepared to stop the Springboks like they did. As the listener said, when they were going into, when the Boks were camping on the line, keeping them out like that is not just blood and guts. It's there's a lot of preparation that went in there. So, guys, we've also got to say the Springboks are up against a really well-prepared team. Dave Rennie is a fantastic coach.
Welcome terug, Room Dividers. Oh gosh, it's gonna be nice. I'm waiting just for those few minutes before MSW closes at 7. Rodney was saying, hey, Tando, close the show. Oh gosh, it's gonna be a fight again.
You come in peace, don't you, Mr. Banana? It's 2026 now. Maybe an important question I need to throw at you is, are they losing the age problem? I mean, when you look at the Springboks, I mean, is age catching up to them before a Rugby World Cup?
Rob, the average South African age or Springbok age is 30.8. The 2 youngest in the team is Hooker and Sasha. The oldest will turn 40 years on the 25th of September.
And he's in the squad.
He's the reserve hooker.
Dion
Fourie. He turns 40 in a couple of weeks' time. The All Blacks on the other side, if you go back to 2015 when they won that World Cup, average age was 28. Yeah. So it does count. Remember, Sia is 35. A lot of players on 33, Wilco on 32. So the age factor, it does play its role, and especially if you're playing against a side like the All Blacks. You want your squad to be fit. And we seemed a bit pup, to be quite honest. And that for me is a concern, Rob. For example, let's look at the scrums where we were dominant. The All Blacks still won 5 of those scrums. But also you look at the pickup from Adi Savia as a number 8. He had 5. He picked up 5. I think two tries were scored from that. And we had 0, with the type of game that Jasper was playing. It's unbelievable that he never picked up the ball and went to Love. It's unbelievable.
But what was it, though? What caused that? Because when you talk about the possibilities and when you give the kind of stats that you do, it is un-Springbok-like, surely.
Yeah, but Rob, remember, Springbok own territory.
Yes.
They own possession. They basically owned everything, Rob. But rugby is never won on stats. Rugby is won, when the team puts it together and it finally pays off through a penalty, through a scrum. Mm-hmm. But decisions has to be made. We never made that decision. Peter Steff is kicking for a line out instead of taking 3 points. Mm-hmm. Rob? Mm-hmm. From there, you kick out Malcolm Marx, great player of the year last year. Rob? Nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But he's not doing the fundamentals correctly. His core fundamentals is to throw the ball in. You scrum, you throw. The rest are just sort of, extras. Bongi Mbonambi, 2019, Robert, lost 1 line out throughout the tournament, which we won in Japan. Unbelievable. But he lost only 1. So what I'm saying is, for me, is every time People talk of entry points, brilliant. But when you enter, you're that dominant and you don't score. Surely you ask yourself, what is happening?
You raised the issue of Dion Fourie. What would you think, and I'll throw this at Mike. Maybe Mike, just ponder on what Rassie Erasmus had to say about the pool and also on Dion Fourie.
Yeah. No, I've got here on my laptop. We've got the squad, and we've got the standby guys, the Evan Rooses, the Ambrose Papiers, and all of those guys we have. But we've always had this column where we still have a Frans Malherbe on there, and we still have a Dion Fourie on there. And it's always, if Frans play again in January, I'm pretty sure we'll call in his number again. Obviously, Dion played well for those. He's not match fit. He hasn't played a lot of matches. But I coach him since he's 18. And he's a wrestler, he's a gymnast. For age 39, he covers for you hooker. He can go to open side as well if Sia plays, and he can move there later, and then Andre can maybe go to the back line again. So it gives us a little bit more options, gives us more leadership and calmness. So he was always on that bracket where, listen boys, when we sometimes have to push the emergency button, he's one of those players.
Mike, what's your take, though, on what Rassie has said? And also, as Thando said that, here's somebody who's almost going to be 40 years old, but he's being trusted with this. And I think the last time was, when did he don the jersey in a high-profile game? Was 2023, if I'm not mistaken, at the Rugby World Cup final.
Yeah, he came on and basically played most of the final at hooker. Look, guys, in fact, the voice note we had earlier, a very astute listener pointed out something. The attacking breakdown for the Springboks at Ellis Park was not good. And that is why Dion Fourie and Sia Kolisi playing on Saturday in Cape Town is so important. Sia is one of the best players. When it comes, he's got that really muscular presence. He's a physical beast of a man, and Dion Fourie is similar, and maybe not the same kind of size, but the same kind of tenacity. And what those guys bring to the party is when we have the ball, when the Springboks have the ball, they arrive and they make sure that it is secured, and then it is cleared for the scrum half. So that. And we talk about what Sia brings with his leadership. But in terms of his skills as a loose forward, number one is how he performs at the breakdown and securing our ball, clearing out the All Black defenders, and Dion Fourie does something similar. So the physical presence of Sia at the breakdown, and then that mongrel tenacity of Dion, vital for the Boks on Saturday.
Who's winning it, Mike?
Look, guys, history tells us that the Springboks bounce back, and they do. And guys, it's almost like I've seen this video before. Springboks lose at Ellis Park, as they did last year against the Wallabies. They bring Andre Pollard back. They go back to basics, and I don't want them to go totally back to basics. That's what I was saying at the beginning of the show. Please, guys, let's move the ball a bit. But Andre last year as well, after the Wallaby loss, he came in, he played. I think they will settle it down, particularly in the first half.
Give me the result, Mike. Give me the result, Mike.
Okay. Springboks by 7.
Springboks by 7. Mike Greenaway, thank you so much indeed. I'm not sure if he's going to be going down to Cape Town. Mr. Banana, on your side, what you see, I know Gavin Ridge said that Rassie was outthought and out-strategized when he wrote his article. It can't happen twice, surely.
You've got to understand the Pollard scenario selection. Obviously, it doesn't give a lot of threat on attack, but what it does give you sort of calm play and sort of does what is required of him. So I think the Springboks will really tone it down. and play to their strength, which is they'll very much use their forwards to really set it up for him and for Andre, just to make sure that he gets us on, on the field of the All Blacks. And then from there, they'll hope to get some penalties out, and he just slots it through. But he's not going to give you the attacking flair of the other fly half we have. So already that game plan has changed, but also with the team selection and with whatever we are saying, we've got a Luot on the bench, we've got a Honeycomb, we've got so much on the bench.
So winning it by how much?
Yeah, but I haven't finished.
No, you don't have to. The time's finished.
I haven't finished.
The time's done.
Yeah, but you need a score. I can always give you that in the last second.
But you can give it to me when we're off air then.
Are you going to post it?
If you're taking
You
too
normally
long,
post things. Are you going to post it?
I'm not a postman.
What are you then?
I'm a results-driven man to find out what...
You're someone who forces people
No,
for results.
time. Can you see? You can see. Look at the time behind you. These are two different.
Yeah, but you
ones.
gave me the last. Always you're giving me the last.
Yeah, you
last
always
bite.
last. Do you want to put up in the air what you're carrying
Rob,
into
box
the
by
studio?
5.
Box by 5.
Yes.
That wasn't my question. My question is, show the people what you brought into the studio for the very first time I've ever seen you. It's not a laptop. It's not an iPad. Do you just want to lift it for us so that we can
It's a 192-page Croxley book.
Let me see it. Just put it up.
No,
so that
I'm not afraid to show you.
Flip it so that
no,
the
I can't
camera
flip. It's mine.
There. Show us.
No, Rob, it's mine. I can't
how
flip.
much did you buy it for?
Rob, have you ever been to Checkers?
Checkers?
Checkers? Have you ever been to Checkers?
I saw you in the scooter.
No, I'm asking. Have you ever been to Checkers? It's the only thing I'm asking you. Yes or no?
To do what?
I don't know. You don't buy groceries?
I've been to CNA or PNA.
Sorry?
PNA.
Okay.
You see what's on your cap?
What's happening?
That P?
Yes.
With an A and an A. So right now you're struggling.
Rob,
boss.
I'm not going to tell you where I do my shopping.
You said Checkers.
No, I asked, have you been? I never said I go to Checkers.
To do
I
what?
ask you, do you go
do
to
what?
Checkers? I don't know.
Who you checking when I Checkers?
Where?
Who you checking?
Checkers. Have you been to Checkers? Do you check people at Checkers?
Hey guys.
What? People at Checkers.
Hey, banana.
Uyacheka ngokuboy?
Uzojonga apha.
Uyajola wena ka Checkers. Chini.
Ujola ngescooter but
Uyajola wena. Okay.
Guys, thanks for joining the Room Dividers on Marawa Sports Worldwide in partnership with F&B, the proud sponsors of the Springboks. Help changes everything. And with that in line, my goodness, I suppose where Manana checks his people, it does change everything. All right, you can tune in again tomorrow for Marawa Sports Worldwide, which is proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets. Sure. Sure, guys.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Let the game begin. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW.